Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we have a Jane Doe found in Gilmer County, Georgia in August of 1992. This says her estimated PMI was only 1 week, and even though it was only 1 week, they're estimating her height to be 5'1". It's not a measured height, and they couldn't estimate her weight. And it says her estimated age range was 20 to 31 years old. The body was found approximately 100 feet off Woods Road in a remote Gilmer County. It makes you wonder if it wasn't somebody that lived in the area or somebody who had gone hunting or camping there at some point. You know, it makes you wonder why they pick those areas that they do. 100 feet off Woods Road. Not recognizable. Decomposing. A brown hair. KOS tiger eye ring, size 7. Remember those tiger eye rings back in the day that were so cute? Huh. So we're going to look at some missing persons. You can tell I've got a lot of tabs open. So I have this one, and she went missing from Acworth, Cherokee County, Georgia, August 6, 1992. So she's missing 3 days after that person was found, but I'm leaving her in there. And it does say she has blonde, shoulder-length hair and blue eyes, but I know that some people have blonde hair as they're growing up, and as they get older, some people will consider it dirty blonde, and other people will consider it brown, so I'm leaving it. And it says Nee Womack, so I don't know if one name is her married name and one name is her maiden name or what. She had a distinctive gap in her front teeth, leather moccasins, diamond ring, gold necklace, men's rope necklace, bracelet with inset stones. Belinda was last seen arguing with her boyfriend, Steve Creasman, outside her home at the Shadowwood Mobile Home Park. When Belinda's daughter returned home later that day, Belinda was gone. Also missing was a telephone cord, a comforter, and Belinda's silver Nissan pickup. 6 weeks later, Belinda's truck was found parked in a Marietta shopping center. Oh. Anyway. Wow. So, after her, I just feel like I think I went shopping at that shopping center. I'm thinking, didn't I go shopping? I wonder if that's the one that's like, big like the mall, kind of. Okay, after her disappearance, Creasman pawned some of her jewelry and was in possession of a gun Belinda always carried in her purse. So she's gone, and he's got her jewelry and her gun. Mr. Creasman is the main suspect in her disappearance. He's also the main suspect in the disappearance of Twyla Mickey and the murder of his wife, Rita. Creasman died in 2013 and was never charged with his wife's murder, nor the disappearance of Twyla or Belinda. Foul play is suspected. Which makes you wonder so many things. So she was reported missing, or it's been missing since August 6, 1992. But I didn't know if she had went missing sooner, because sometimes people wait a couple weeks before they report somebody missing. So I just wanted to make sure that I left her in there. And here's the map of where she went missing from. Okay, so Gilmer County, Georgia is where the Jane Doe is found. Acworth, Georgia is where Belinda Frances Norrid went missing from. And her vehicle was found in Marietta. So she went missing from here. Her vehicle was found here, and the Jane Doe is found here. Just so we can look at the map. And it's a 2-hour drive complete, going from one to the other if you went to Marietta and then went there, but it would be longer if you had to come back. So, and then we have Beatrice Bailey Coleman. Oh wait, I wanted to mention some things about that man, Steve Creasman. So yes, suspicions link 3 unsolved cases. Women missing or dead were all involved with the same man. November 9, 2011, by Andrea Simmons. 25-year-old Rita Creasman's husband said the 20-year-old woman left her infant son, toddler daughter, and 2 stepsons at home with him while she went to run a few errands. 2 days later, the Marietta mom's strangled and partially nude body was found at the bottom of a creek a few miles away. Her family has been tormented since then with the knowledge that whoever's responsible for her death has gotten away with murder. And her name was Rita. Even worse, they suspect that what happened to her was not an isolated incident. Police have long said her husband, Stephen Creasman, is a suspect in not just in Rita's death, but in subsequent disappearances of 2 of his girlfriends. This is 3 women dead or missing in 6 years, and they were all associated with Stephen Creasman, said Cobb homicide detective John Dowse, who took over the case in 2009. Twyla Mickey, a 30-year-old single mom, had been living with Creasman and his children in Marietta when she disappeared in 1989. Belinda Norred, 36, vanished from her mobile home in Acworth in 1992. She had been in an on-again, off-again relationship with Stephen Creasman. Both women remain missing and are feared dead, but because no bodies have been found, the cases are classified as missing persons. Detectives in Cobb County, where Rita Creasman and Mickey lived, and in Cherokee County, where Norred resided, are collaborating on the investigation. They've never made an arrest because they lack sufficient evidence to get the conviction against Stephen Creasman or anybody else, said Sergeant L.J. Sinowaski, I don't know how to pronounce that, who supervises the Cobb Police Homicide Unit. We are looking at him, but we are also looking at everybody else who could have potentially have committed this murder. Sinowaski, I don't know how to pronounce it, forgive me, but said jurors nowadays are accustomed to watching CSI-type television shows with pat endings, and although circumstantial evidence indicates she and her husband argued the day she was killed, there is no physical evidence that indicates he was responsible for her death. And I know people who have got convicted of murder with no physical evidence and no witnesses just because of circumstances and the facts. So the fact that the bodies of Mickey and Norred have never been found is a huge obstacle to solving those cases. He said, so detectives keep digging. No charges have been filed against Stephen Creasman, a former auto mechanic who lives in Statham. He is 53 now, married to a 3rd wife, and works in the construction and home restoration building, according to the detectives. Stephen Creasman did not respond to messages left by a reporter who visited his home. Attempts to reach him by contacting his wife via Facebook and by calling his parents also were unsuccessful. An attorney for Stephen Creasman cannot be located, and the last time we talked with police, he was not represented by one. Linda Flanagan, age 28, was only 3 years old when Rita Creasman died, but she had a startling story to tell the investigators who interviewed her about a year ago. Flanagan said she and her stepbrothers were lying on the living room floor the day her mother went missing, which was a Saturday. Her mother was about to put a Winnie the Pooh video into the VCR for them to watch, and Stephen Creasman came inside. He was yelling at her about something, Flanagan said. I remember thinking, we're in trouble, so we all got quiet because he was not a very nice man. Flanagan recalls seeing her stepfather drag her mother down the hallway into the bathroom where he shut the door. Flanagan lay down on the floor and peered through the crack under it. She could see her mother's and Creasman's feet. She lay down in the floor, or I thought that's what she was doing, Flanagan said, and when he came out, he screamed at us to get in the living room. When Flanagan asked where her mom was, she said Creasman told her she was using the bathroom. She walked down the hall and saw her mother on the floor. I remember thinking she was asleep in the bathroom, Flanagan said. That's the last time Flanagan recalls seeing her mom. Around 3:30 or 4 p.m. that day, Rita Creasman's mother, Shirley Eubanks. See, to me, that's enough evidence that I would have thought they would have convicted him. Got a hang-up phone call. She heard her daughter say, "Mom," before the phone went dead. I don't know. I had a mother's intuition something is wrong, Eubanks said. After about 4 hours later, Stephen Creasman telephoned his mother-in-law asking if she had seen Rita. She hadn't come home from an outing to a nearby shopping center, he said. It didn't make sense to Eubanks, who said her daughter never left Creasman with all 4 of the children. That night, Rita Creasman's locked vehicle was found parked in the Blackwell Square shopping center, not far from her home. At around midnight, Creasman called the police to report his wife missing. A teenage boy walking along Peachshaw Road discovered Rita Creasman's body 2 days later. She had been strangled and dumped off a small bridge that spans a creek. Her sweater and bra had been cut off, but there was no evidence of sexual assault. Tammy Tucker, Rita Creasman's sister, said her sister's marriage was troubled. She was still married to her first husband, although legally separated when she became pregnant with Creasman's child. She married Creasman 2 weeks after her divorce was final. Tucker said she never understood what her sister saw in Creasman, whose first wife died of cancer, leaving him to raise their 2 sons. When Rita met him, all she could talk about was this poor guy whose wife had died of cancer that had these 2 little boys, Tucker said. Rita Creasman and her husband had separated a few months before her death, but they got back together on a 6-week trial basis, which was to end the week she was slain, according to her mother. During those last few weeks, Eubanks was with her daughter nearly every day because she was helping renovate the house. Eubanks said the tension between the couple was obvious. On a shopping trip to Town Center Mall, I've been there, I love shopping there, with her daughter, Eubanks said she turned to see Stephen Creasman staring at them from across the store. He was supposed to have been at work at a car dealership where he was a mechanic. Another time, Stephen Creasman turned up at a nearby lake where they had taken the children for a picnic. He stood and watched them from a distance, Eubanks said. He was doing all these strange things, Eubanks said, like everywhere we went he showed up. Eubanks said she was concerned about her son-in-law's behavior. Rita Creasman told her mother she would handle it, still grieving. Like the Eubanks family, Sarah Toole has agonized for years over what happened to her daughter. Police say Twyla Mickey was living with Creasman when she disappeared. She left a message on her parents' answering machine on November 3rd, 1989, saying, "I've got to get out of here." She asked him to pick up her son, who was being cared for by Creasman's mother at the time. Toole never heard from her daughter again. Mickey's abandoned Toyota Tercel was impounded in Atlanta and crushed before the police could check it for clues. It's been a nightmare for me, it really has, to live that long and not know what happened to my daughter, Toole said. Well, I hope she wasn't in the vehicle or in the trunk or something. The other women who disappeared after becoming involved with Creasman was Belinda Norad, a single mother from Acworth who ran a house cleaning business with her sister. Norad went missing August 16, 1992, leaving behind an 18-year-old son and a 14-year-old daughter. Mabry, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Now 33, remembers Creasman as a quiet man who often stayed at their home in the Shadowwood mobile home community in Cherokee County. Mabry said her mother was sweet, loving, and funny, but she had a jealous streak. She suspected Creasman was cheating on her. She was also hard-headed when it came to love. Norad's mother, Louise Womack, told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution in 1992 that Nora didn't want to heed warnings that her new boyfriend was a suspect in his wife's murder. "She didn't listen to us," said Womack, who passed away in 1995. "She was crazy about him." On the day her mother went missing, Mabry returned home from sleeping over a friend's house to find her mom gone. Also missing was a phone cord, a comforter, and her mother's silver Nissan pickup truck. Her brother, who had been home for the entire time, thought Nora must have departed with Creasman, before he woke up that morning. Her family reported Norad missing when she failed to return home. 6 weeks later, her truck was found parked in the Marietta Shopping Center. In the 19 years since, Mabry and her brother have known no peace. I don't even care if justice takes its course or not, Mabry said. I just want her body. I just want closure. Cherokee County detectives believe Creasman was the last person to see Norad. Investigators said he pawned some of her jewelry after her disappearance, jewelry that her children said she never removed, even in the shower. Detectives also believe that after her death, he was in possession of a gun she always carried in her purse. Creasman denied having anything to do with her vanishing. Cherokee Sheriff's Detective Kenneth Locke said Nora's disappearance continues to bother him as he nears the end of his law enforcement career. Before I retire, this is the last case I would want solved, Locke wrote in an email. It still haunts me to this day. Both Mickey's and Nora's DNA profiles have been entered into a national database so they can be matched against unidentified remains discovered anywhere in the country. After a reporter inquired recently about skeletal remains found beside a rural road in Marietta in 1993, investigators realized DNA had never been extracted from the bones. That technology was still relatively uncommon 17 years ago. Mickey was ruled out as a possible match to the remains long ago. Norad, however, was not. Police have started looking for forensics labs to extract DNA and make the comparison. Detectives are hopeful that analysis could result in a breakthrough. They are also optimistic someone may come forward with new details. Creasman was re-interviewed when Cobb County detectives got a DNA sample from him in 2009. They wanted to have it on file. Investigators said DNA was not useful in Rita Creasman's case because it is not unusual for a husband's DNA to be found on his wife. Although some statements have changed, he still denies having anything to do with any of the three cases. 6 years, 3 women. May 30th, 1986. Rita and Stephen Creasman marry. October 4th, 1986. Rita Creasman is reported missing. October 6, 1986, Rita's body is found face down in a creek. November 30th, 1989, Twyla Mickey vanishes from the home she shared with him. August 16th, 1992, Belinda Norad disappears from her mobile home. Anyone with information about the disappearance of Mickey or the slaying of Rita Creasman is asked to contact the Cobb County Police Department Homicide Unit at 770-499-3945. And there's another phone number for the other lady that went missing, Belinda Norad. So, and then there's a mention on Reddit. You can pause this and read it if you want to. What it says, could these cases all be tied to domestic violence? Was Stephen Creasman a serial killer? And if so, are there other victims we don't know about? So, and this shows the map. Like I mentioned, here's the Jane Doe that was found in Gilmer County, Georgia, right here. And this is where Belinda Frances Norad went missing. And this is where that vehicle was found. So that, it's not the same height because she's 5'5", and this is estimated 5'1", so I don't know. And then we'll go to the next missing person. We have Beatrice Bailey Coleman, missing from Memphis, Tennessee in 1991. So this is almost a year and a half before they found that Jane Doe, who had only been dead for about a week. So, and she's 4'11" to 5'1", 145 to 160 pounds. Also known as B, was last seen at her residence in the vicinity of the 5000 block of Yale in Memphis, Tennessee, sometime between May and November 1991. That's a huge difference. That's, 5-6 months there? Light brown hair, green eyes. So, are they not even really sure when she went missing? So, being that they're not even really sure that when she went missing, that makes me wonder if maybe she couldn't have gone missing in 1992. It is just speculation and reaching, right? But there it is. And that is 7 hours away. That's a long drive. And because you would expect it to be someone that lived right in that area, not 2 hours away or 7 hours away or anything like that. So then we have Brenda Gail Lambert. She went missing from Bluewell, West Virginia, July 26, 1992. She was 22 years old, 5'2" and 110 pounds. She was last seen about 9 p.m. at her residence in the vicinity of Windmill Hill Road in Bluewell, West Virginia. Black, curly hair, and blue eyes. So, and Jane Doe, I believe, had brown hair. And here's the distance. 6 hours and 49 minutes. That's quite a ways. And then we have Wilda. And, I say black hair, but somebody else might see her and think that her hair was, dark brown. Because it just depends on who's looking at it and who's deciding the hair color. And then we have Wilda May Benoit. Forgive me if I'm not pronouncing that right. She went missing July 23rd, 1992 from Creole, Louisiana. She was 14 years old and 5 foot tall. Last seen at her home, July 23rd, 1992. Brown hair, blue eyes. And that is almost 12 hours away. So that's pretty good distance, right? Then we have Stacy Kathleen McCall and Suzanne Streeter. I don't know if you remember this case. They went missing June 6, 1992. Well, this is June 7th, 1992. I thought they went missing together. Springfield, Missouri. She's 18 and the other girl is 19. She is 5'3". And she is 5'2". Stacy's photo is shown age progressed to 30 years. Stacy, Suzanne, and Suzanne's mother, all three of them went missing between 2:30 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. on June 7th, 1992, from Suzanne's house at the 1700 block of East Delmar Street in Springfield, Missouri. They have not been seen or heard from since. Suzanne has a birthmark on her chin near her lip and a birthmark on her right arm. So there's three of them that went missing together. And this says she has strawberry blonde hair. This is dark blonde hair to the middle of her back with some bleached ends. So, which to me seems like it might be mistaken for brown hair if it's dark blonde. And wow. Yellow shirt, flowered bikini panties, brown sandals. Wow. And here's the distance from where that Jane Doe was found. It's 10 hours. That's a long ways away. And this is Suzanne Streeter. Her hair is bleached blonde. So I don't know if somebody saw her hair, if it was naturally brown, it was bleach blonde, if they would put brown or blonde. June 7th, 1982, 19 years old, 5'2". Cheryl Levitt, her daughter Suzanne Streeter, and her daughter's friend Stacy McCall disappeared from the Levitt home. June 7th, 1992, sometime between 2:15 a.m. and 7:30 a.m. after Streeter and McCall returned from a graduation party. So I don't know if there was somebody already there in the house when they came home, or if somebody followed them home and they went missing after that. There were no signs of a struggle at the residence. I thought the porch light was broken or something. It appears that the ladies were captured. All of the ladies' personal belongings, clothes, jewelry, money, purses, and vehicle keys, dog, were left at the Levitt's residence. Strawberry blonde hair, straight bleach blonde shoulder-length hair, brown eyes. And it's just a horrific story. Very sad. 3 of them. I don't think that I don't know. I thought I heard they were something about concrete or something. Maybe a school, a concrete slab or something. I don't know. I can't remember the story. It's been so many years since I heard it. Okay, so then we have, that's what it seems like. It was something like that. Okay, so then we have Gina L. Clark went missing in Kansas City, Missouri. 1991 December. She was brown curly hair, 5'3". Gina's mother reported last seeing her December 1st, 1991 at 8:30 p.m. at their residence in Kansas City. At about 11:15 p.m., Gina called her mother collect from an unknown location, but the call was disconnected. Gina was a witness to her former boyfriend's murder on October 7th, 1991. At the time of her disappearance, the homicide suspect was not in custody. Gina was known to frequent the Motor Inn at 2018 Maine. Foul play is suspected. Wow. And there's a distance right there that's, 11, 12 hours away. So I wouldn't think that was anything in relation to it, but I'm leaving it in. And then we have Sabrina Long. She went missing in 1991, and she was taller. So this is, she went missing a long time before, and she was taller. So I don't think it could be her, but... And you can pause this and read it. I'm just skimming through it. She was last at her stepfather's house. She was called to go to somebody else's house in the middle of the night. And she wanted her mother to call and check on her later, but her mother was tired and didn't. And there was a man and a woman, I think, involved with her disappearance and possible murder. And that is about 3 hours away from where she went missing to where that Jane Doe is found. And Marietta, Atlanta's right in between. And then we have this lady, Bridget Pearl Clodfelter. She went missing September 5th, 1992. And this Jane Doe was found August 3rd. So I don't know why I decided to leave her in. Smyrna, Georgia, 27 years old. She could have been anywhere from about 5'3" to 5'5". She was last seen between, I always say midnight 30, when it's, I guess they do that military time. So it's like 12:30 at night and 1 a.m. on Saturday, September 5th, 1992. She left her apartment walking to the Buckboard, a local country dance bar. That's why I left her in. About 1 mile away. She was to meet friends there, but never arrived and has not been seen or heard from since that night. I guess she was going dancing at a country dance bar. Maybe they were going to do line dancing. The route she is believed to have taken to the Buckboard would have been north on Lake Park Drive, then east on Windy Hill Road. So she was walking in the middle of the night to go dancing, and she disappeared September 5th, 1992. And I don't know when she was reported missing, how long they waited to report her missing, or what the circumstances were. And we'll see how far away that is. That's only an hour away from where she went missing from to where that Jane Doe is found. Hour and 14 minutes. And I left her in because there's also this woman I wanted to leave in. She didn't go missing till September 24th, but she went missing from Columbia, South Carolina. And I'm putting the distance from Smyrna to Columbia, South Carolina, which is 3.5 hours, because I want you to, because this girl was going to go dancing, right? And this girl at a bar, and this lady Dail Boxley Dinwiddie. She was last seen at Jungle Jim's nightclub at about 2:30 a.m. near Five Points in Columbia, South Carolina. So she disappeared from a nightclub or a bar too. She was 23 years old, only about 5 foot tall and about 96 pounds, just tiny, right? Brown hair, brown eyes, brown boots, olive green long sleeve shirt, faded blue jeans, and boots. So it sounds like she's wearing boots. I wonder if she was going country dancing as well. Here's an actual photo. So I put the distance between her and the last girl that went missing. I should put, well, because she didn't go missing until September 24th, and that's a month and a half after. But I'll do that anyway. So she went missing from Columbia, South Carolina, and I guess I'll see how far that is from where the Jane Doe was found. That's about 4.5 hours. Because I wonder, you wonder if any of the cases are ever connected. And anyway, if you have any information about who this Jane Doe might be, please contact authorities and let them know. If you have any information about what might have happened to any of these missing persons, please contact authorities with any information that you have, even if it's hearsay, even if you've heard relatives talking, friends talking while they were drinking, and telling things, or maybe your boyfriend was in jail and heard something and told you. You're not sure if it's true. It's just information you've heard through the grapevine. Any information that you have, let authorities know. Let them decide what's relevant and what might help them solve the case, because you never know. And don't forget to pray for their families and their loved ones. Feel free to leave comments, and have a blessed day. Bye-bye.